This is the 2026 Skoda Enyaq, a family EV that promises to compete against some of the biggest in the segment, such as the Tesla Model Y, the IONIQ 5 and the Kia EV6. All really good cars and really big players. And you know what? I actually think that this can hold its own. Now with its facelifted front end design and also an updated and revised interior that has both newer tech and nicer materials, I think that actually this justifies its price tag. It's a little bit pricey compared to some of the other rivals, especially the cheaper Chinese brand EVs that are coming to the UK now. But if you've got that sort of money and you're looking at those rival cars, I think this could be a true contender. And I'm here to find out if you agree with me today. So let's take you on a full tour of the car. Let's go through the interior, exterior, and I'll get it out on the road and see what I think. But before we do that, if you're looking for an easy way to buy or sell a car, links in the description below. Carwell will make it super easy for you to sell your car. All you've got to do is punch your reg in, they'll give you an instant valuation, dealers will bid on your car, and if one is successful and you accept, they'll come to your house, collect cash in the bank. Nice and easy. They can settle finance as well if you need to. And if you're looking for an easy way to buy a car, Players Cars Premium, we will make it super easy for you. All you've got to do is hit us up on WhatsApp or Instagram DMs and we will find the perfect car for you. Free home delivery, and we can talk to you via WhatsApp 24/7. No waiting around for pesky emails. So what are you waiting for? If you're looking to buy or sell, links below. So let's break down trims and pricing quickly. It can get a little bit confusing, but basically it's broken into two drivetrains, 60 and 85 here in the UK. And the 60 variants have a 63 kilowatt hour battery and around 201 horsepower, rear wheel drive only, with a range of around 260 miles and 0 to 60 in around 8.1 seconds. The 85 variants have a larger long range battery at 82 kilowatt hours, and that's around 280 horsepower rear wheel drive with range up to about 350 or 360. So that is much better, and 0 to 60 in around 6.7 seconds. There is also an all-wheel drive variant called the 85X. So the entry-level SEL is only available on the SUV variant with the 60 drivetrain, the shorter range one, but it has pretty generous spec as standard, including a 13-inch infotainment screen, heated seats and steering wheel, triple zone climate control with adaptive cruise control, keyless entry and electric tailgate as standard, although heat pump is optional. You can then get the addition trim for about £1,000 more, which is definitely worth having with the same 60 drivetrain. But if you want the long range 85 variant, it starts from around 44,000 or 46,000 for the coupe that I have here. The addition also adds matrix LED headlights, which are really good, a massaging driver's seat, which isn't particularly good, rear window blinds and some more premium interior trim choices. I think really this mid-range spec is the sweet spot with a few of the option packs. The top spec is the Sport line, the one that looks more aggressive with sportier styling and 20-inch alloys with a head-up display, Canton sound system, sport suspension and a 360 camera. Now this is quite a floaty car in terms of the suspension, so I think the Sport line or the VRS model might be for those people who want something a little bit more dynamic. Those top end Sport line trims start from about £48,000. Obviously the coupe variants, they are a little bit more expensive and you lose some boot space for that styling, so it depends on what you prefer really, but I must say the boot space is really good and it's still very practical in this coupe variant. So for that sort of money, it's not quite as fast or tech heavy as something like a Tesla Model Y, but it has some more analog controls and a more traditional car feel to it if that's what you prefer. There are also some option packs, unfortunately. Like I said, heat pump is over £1,000 as an option on these cars, and also you've got things like the advanced pack, which adds extra lighting features and an augmented reality head-up display. There's also the max pack, which is like a top end pack, which you can add basically park assist, remote parking, 360 cam and a few other bits. If you're looking to purchase one of these, I'd say probably the addition trim with the advanced pack for all the extra tech is probably the sweet spot. I personally prefer the Sport line trims to this one, but one thing I will say is that might be too firm for some. There's also a couple of interior trims to choose from. So the basic one is called Loft, which is grey fabric and black artificial leather with some kind of leather facing on the dash, and it still looks really good for a standard model. That is standard on the entry-level SEL. The one I have here today is called the Lounge, which is a mid-range upgrade. It's over £1,000, but I think well worth it because it's a kind of sporty modern mix. So you've got artificial leather and micro suede with a dark grey theme, but it has contrast stitching and some more premium textures than the basic car. And then you have the Lodge trim, which is eco-focused with more sustainable and recycled materials like Econol and PET based fabrics, orange accents and contrast stitching. So it's quite a fabric heavy interior. It's quite unique though, quite premium feeling, and just has the more recycled materials. I like that there is a fair bit of choice, but simplifying it without the option packs, a bit like what Kia and Hyundai do, is the direction I'd like to see them go. So having a little look around the car then, what they've done is they've completely changed and revised this front end, and it is far for the better. I didn't really like the big gopping front grille on the previous car, but this one has been a huge improvement. Look at this. This is a really nice front end now, and you can see we've got the lights integrated in there, and also converts into your indicators, and all of the radar systems are built into this new front grille. And you can see the camera also at the front there with the Skoda badge up front. There's no more emblem, it's just the lettering, which makes it look a little bit more modern. And of course you've got your actual matrix LEDs on this one a bit further down there, and some functional air ducts, so that's cool, isn't it? Down here you've just got this slatted grille, and I think it all comes together with a little lip diffuser at the bottom. Even though this isn't the sportier trim, I think it does look quite imposing on the road, and I really like what they've done with the styling. I think it looks way better than the previous version. This is finished in Meteor Grey, so Meteor Grey being one of their optional paint colours. This was kind of debuted on the early VRS cars, and this one being on the kind of the standard rims. This is not obviously the Sportline one with the 20-inch alloys, so I don't particularly like the way these wheels look, but they do ride better with those chunkier tyres, admittedly. As we head down the side of the car here, obviously this one being the coupe, you can see that in the profile. It kind of looks a little bit like a saloon, doesn't it? It's not really got an SUV shape to it. It just looks like a jacked up sedan. And that's kind of what they were going for. It's kind of similar to some of the Volkswagen ID stuff that is based on the same platform as. And yeah, I think it looks pretty good. Personally, I prefer this one to the SUV, I think, but obviously the SUV is a little bit cheaper and a little bit more practical. You just get a little bit more space at the back with a more squared off design. But your mileage may vary, depends on what you need, doesn't it, really, at the end of the day? And this one, actually, you don't sacrifice too much in the back, I don't think. It's actually very generous inside when it comes to the space and the cargo area, so I wouldn't panic too much. At the back here, it is pretty basic though. You've got kind of your standard Skoda light cluster, which you come to know, and then down the bottom on this one, there's nothing too crazy because this isn't the Sportline. On the Sportline, you've got kind of a more accentuated diffuser area. On this one, you've just got the Skoda emblem at the back there, and then the 85 model designation, so nothing too crazy. You also see there's no rear wiper, so coming down the side as well, you've also got a little accent area here, which I think looks good, and then some nice large mirrors with cameras in. You've got keyless entry on the side, and then we've got a manual release for the charge port, which is kind of you expect in Skodas to have a little kind of ice scraper in here normally, but it's not in this car purely because you can precondition it, so that's good. So then heading inside the Enyaq, it's got a touch sensor on the back of all 4 door handles, which is nice to unlock it, and then you've also got on every single door handle a touch sensor to lock the car, which is unusual to have them on the back, so that's a nice touch. As we open the door, it's just on the touch sensor there, put it open, and it's got a nice heft to it, a nice quality feel. Unfortunately, the doors don't come all the way down to the bottom, so you might get muddy trousers because those sills aren't covered up. That's one downside that they didn't think of, but there is some usual Skoda practicalities in here. So in this door, for example, you have the Skoda umbrella, so that literally just slots in there and you can pull that away, so that's a nice touch. It just tucks away in there, means you've always got one on you, which is nice, isn't it? And this, like I said, is the lounge interior, and I think this makes a huge difference to the quality of the cabin. Just look at the materials in here, and everything is lovely and soft to touch. Everything looks really premium, everything feels really premium, and I say this is much better than the Volkswagen equivalent interior, in my opinion. So looking around then, we've got some nice touches on the door here. You've got this kind of, I think this is recycled plastic sort of material, which has got this kind of like almost mottled effect to it, so it looks a little bit like a marble or like a granite, something like that. And then you've also got this kind of micro suede on here, which has got some kind of plush texture to it. You can see it's got a nice suede finish to it, and then just a door handle area here with your basic window switches and controls. And then this is very similar to in other Skodas and Audis and so on. This one has the Canton audio system, which is designated by that little badge there and this nice pattern, and as you can see, there's space for a bottle in the door and another storage area that actually goes quite deep down there as well, so nice and practical. But yeah, I just think looks the part, it looks really nice. And as we head inside, the material quality continues. We've got these seats in this one, so adjustable headrest, this really nice plush seating, so it's got that same sort of micro suede and actually a really nice plush material, really soft, and it's, you can see as I put my finger marks in this how soft this suede material is. It's really good, but perforated as well, which is always nice for a bit of airflow. And it has some slightly green sort of contrast piping which matches this Skoda theme, and the ambient lighting is normally set to that as well. So this one has the massage function, which I've got to say is a little bit rubbish compared to other cars, so don't worry about that at all. But it does have adjustable lumbar and electric adjustment there, and as you can see, a nice kind of sloped seat for you to get comfortable in. Also, as you can see, there's a little bit of space in the center console, so you've got some storage under there. And as we step inside, things just get better and better. So in this price range, you might be used to things like the Tesla Model Y, which is all screen and a little bit bland, although I do do think that is the superior tech. Everything is lovely in here, and I think it's well worth the upgrade to this interior or one of the other premium interior options, because it's just light and airy. So you've also got a kind of a beige headliner which goes up into your pan roof. So this one has a nice big glass roof, and as you can see looking round, the light grey cabin just makes a difference in making it feel more open and airy in here, which is really lovely. You might notice as well, as I'm looking in here, we've also got the augmented reality head-up display. So at the moment it's doing a little animation, but what that will do is it will project signals onto the road to turn left and right and that kind of thing. It works really well, and there's some detailed information there. And then there's just a little section there for your infrared sensors for the driver assists, and the materials continue throughout the cabin. So even in the base car, you've got leather wrap up here. In this one, I've got the micro suede and the contrast stitching and some nice easy to use vents with this kind of granite-y material again, and some basic controls down here, nice and simple to use. And then this continues up here. The quality of the leather on the steering wheel, lovely, and this perforation feels super soft. Bolstering is just right, and this design I like as well on this flat bottom wheel. The physical controls are still present, thankfully, and they're actually quite well designed. These look like separate buttons, don't they? But it's not. It is actually one button. It's just been made to look like two buttons, which tricks your mind and makes it feel like an individual press. So someone's actually really thought about that, haven't they? And this is a kind of a wheel to go up and down in volume. You've got your heated steering wheel control on the steering wheel. Lovely, love that. The new branding. And then on this side, you've got a shortcut button to your assists, and also you've got some buttons to control the screen in front of you. So the actual start-stop button is down here as if you were to put the key in. So if I press that, the car comes to life and I get pushed forward into my seat. And like I said, this one here, if I press that, it will come up with a shortcut on this little screen here to turn off the bings and bongs and change your driver assist mode. So that's really good. And there's also paddles on the back of the wheel, you'll notice, which are to control your 3 different levels of regen braking. One pedal drive mode is currently unavailable, but later cars arriving at the end of 2026 will have this, as well as a frunk for storage. So you've also got your standard Volkswagen Audi Group switchgear, which feels really nice because there's no kind of mushiness like in some more modern systems. But as you can see, the cruise control stalk down here is the same one they've been using for the last sort of 15 years. So if you like it, great. If you don't, you're stuck. This little screen in front of me as well, it's a little bit customizable, but there's not an awful lot that you would want to do with it. So I can use these buttons on the steering wheel to kind of move it around and adjust things. But yeah, you can kind of get a bit of basic information about the car. It's all you need, really. It's very similar to the Volkswagen ID stuff. So you've just got your speed, your traffic sign recognition, a bit about what's going on and your range, that kind of thing. It's a small, easy to read display, and it's not too distracting. And of course, you've got the head-up display as well. And then moving around the rest of the cabin, we've got this lovely material on the dash. Again, there is also ambient lighting that runs all the way along the underside, which is lovely. Some physical controls in the middle here. Unfortunately, gone are the climate controls. They're now in the system here, but they are always shortcutted at the bottom, and you can customize what these controls at the bottom do as well. At the moment, I've just got it set to 19. I pretty much just set and forget, right? There's no real great need for me to go into that. There's also shortcut buttons if you swipe down for some air conditioning bits, and also you've got shortcuts to your lane keep and also your safety systems and that kind of thing. So you can just press there and it goes straight into all of your ADAS stuff for you to turn off all the beeps and bongs or any of the other bits that are going on. So it's quite an easy system to use, and you've also got easy access to everything from here, all of your drive profiles. So you've got eco, comfort, normal, sport and individual, and then you can press this to go into the app drawer and see other bits. So you've got a AI assistant called Laura, and you've also got access easily to change all of your sound settings and your equalizer and all that kind of thing, which is nice. So it's quite an easy system to use, and it's very slick. I prefer this in terms of design, fonts and just overall layout to the Volkswagen version. I think this is just nicer. That's just my opinion. Obviously, you know, you might have a different one, but in my opinion, this is just better and more premium feeling. You've also got a full Apple CarPlay on here, which works really well. Or if I press home, it's going to take me to what looks like Apple CarPlay, but actually is their own home screen. So yeah, it's not quite as fancy as some other systems, but it gets the job done. It's much better than what you get in like modern Toyotas, for example. Not quite as advanced as the Tesla stuff, but for most people this will keep you happy. And this screen is crisp, vibrant, can be seen from all angles. Yeah, it's just super ideal in my opinion. It would be nice to be a bit more angled towards me, but I soon got used to it when I was driving this car. And down here, these physical controls, again, you've got a physical button to get to the assists, physical button for drive mode, park assist, your hazards and your lock switch, and some climate control functions as well. so at least there's a few. Down here you've got some access for your wireless phone charger, so one side only, and then a gripper in that one for someone else's phone, and 2 USB-Cs, and then some really small and rubbish cup holders. This is the biggest letdown for me in this interior. You can change the size of them, so I can move that over to make this cup holder bigger, for example, but they're just in an awkward place here, and also they're just not very good. So that's a bit of a letdown, but there is a large cubby area here. Your little drive selector, so down for drive or B, which is the regen braking mode, reverse or neutral. Unfortunately, I think over the years this will go sticky and nasty, which is a shame, but it means there's less gloss black to smudge and scratch, I suppose. This is a really nice armrest as well, squidgy, as you can see, lovely material, height adjustable, or you can open it completely to reveal a large storage area, removable bits in there. I've also got a cubby down there. There's a little strap so you can strap things in. There's also a little flap that comes down to store something. Like, it's just very versatile and practical space. One other thing to note, the glove box is the small kind in the right-hand drive cars because it's been adapted, so it's a fuse box on that side, and in a lot of these cars now you only get half a glove box unless you get the left-hand drive variant. It's a light, airy cabin that looks modern, feels plush, and everything is just really, really solid quality. Even down here is padded with that nice material, and even the scratchy plastics down below don't feel too bad at all. Really, really good job from Skoda. In terms of your visibility, out the back, not too bad, although obviously a large C-pillar, as with most cars. One thing I will say is a little bit disappointing is the reverse cam. So if I go into reverse, I'll show you what it looks like. It's quite low quality. In this one, you do get the top-down cam, which is nice, but other systems are better. The Toyota ones are better, and also this is so distorted, it looks like you're going to hit things when you're not, which is a little bit annoying, really. It kind of defeats the purpose of the rear cam. Stepping into the back of the Enyaq, and things are really good back here as well. In this particular car, you're obviously having the grey, as I mentioned, it does make things look really light and airy and really nice in this cabin, and you can see the material quality continues here into the back with this lovely perforation, and you've got that kind of green tint coming through the seats, the nice quality pleather everywhere, which is all vegan stuff, which is really good. And then also one thing I really love is the sort of the steep incline on these seats. Look at how steep these are, which means that you've got loads of thigh support. It even kind of curls up at the end there, so you've got that extra thigh support when you sit back there, because obviously the battery pack eats into the floor space a little bit. So it is a nice flat floor. In this particular car, I've got this little insert in here, which is pretty cool. It's actually got space for kind of storing stuff, but you've also got little cup holders that pop out, so they just go like that, which is really cool. But this literally just pulls out, so if you want space in the middle, then you can literally just do that. So that's nice and easy, isn't it? And then you've also got some USB-Cs there, and your heated seats and ventilation and so on back here as well. So yeah, lots of nice little practical touches, and it literally just slots in like that. It's really easy to do. Back here as well, you've also got a little phone storage pouch, kind of, or something, you know, you can put something little in there, in that pouch there, and then a larger pouch there, nice and padded, really practical. On the doors, you've got a decent amount of storage, and on this one, you've also got the rear sunshades, which just come up and clip in nice and easy. It's one of the nicer ones that I've seen, super easy to use as well. And then you've also got nice covers, flip down ones for the ISOFIX points. Now I like these, bonus points for these, because if you have the squishy leather ones you put through, you start damaging the seats. So having plastic there is good, but a lot of these are ones that you can just take off and lose and remove, whereas these ones flip down, you can just put it in there, doesn't damage anything, and pop them away, so it's always going to look nice and neat and tidy. Lovely stuff. And then pull this down as well, you've got a nice ski hatch that can pass through, and also you've got an openable area for your cup holders, so that's nice and easy to use as well. So yeah, it's just a really, really nice space. So stepping into the back of the Enyaq, and this seat here is in my driving position at 6 foot, and I'm pleased to report that actually even in the coupe variant, things are really good for me back here. So like I said, 6 foot, I've got a decent amount of headroom, even with this panoramic glass roof that I've got in this model. And as you can see, the seats have been raked up really high, which I love. That's something that's really important to me with my big, long, spidery, gangly legs, because it means that I've actually got a little bit of comfort. I'm not sitting there with my legs up by my ears like that. Overall, I've also got a decent space to put my arm. I can also pull this armrest down for the same thing here. And the seat is in a decent enough recline position, but it's firm and supportive as well. Like I said before, I really like the fabrics in here as well in this sort of lounge version. I think it makes it a lot more plush, and because it's all kind of grey in here rather than black, it really lifts the cabin. Plus this glass roof makes a huge difference from my perspective sitting back here. So yeah, it's just a really nice place to sit and spend some time. I'm thoroughly impressed with it, especially for the coupe variant. I was expecting it to feel a little bit cramped back here, but I could sit back here for a long journey absolutely fine. What's more, this middle section, whilst at the moment I've got this thing in here, I can just remove that quite easily, and then that creates the floor availability for me to sit in the middle. I would say, obviously, as with most cars of this size, it's going to be a little bit cramped for 3 adults back here, too squished, but it's not dreadfully uncomfortable for a short journey, and for kiddies it will be absolutely fine back here. So yeah, count me super impressed with this thing. It's much better than a lot of the competition. So on this model we do have the power tailgate, so it's just one press of the button and it will lift up nice and easy. And we've got some decent practicalities back here which I'll go through with you as well, but nice easy parcel shelf. This however isn't particularly easy to store under the boot floor here because it's a big chunky sort of standard shelf. It doesn't fold or anything like that, so you would probably have to remove it from the car, but it is literally just 2 little hooks, give it a tap and out it comes. So really straightforward. It's just that you now need to find somewhere to put the thing. With the parcel shelf removed, you can see we've actually got a really nice generous space here. Of course, in this coupe version, there is a bit of a swooping roof line, and so that makes an impact to how high you can have items back here. But the standard Enyaq does have a more squared off rear, so that makes a difference. Of course, though, you do have the usual Skoda practicalities back here, such as this optional kind of rubberized mat, which you can put in here. Obviously, this is going to be easy clean. It's got Enyaq written on there, which is nice. And there's also this bag here, which has got the charger in it, which is actually really convenient. It's kind of got this grip at the top. It's like a hard shell material, so it doesn't flop around, and it just makes it super easy to store the cable, and it's designed specifically to fit in that spot over there. That's really clever, isn't it? There's some tyre hooks under there as well. You've also got a little shopping hook there, some lighting. There's some pull down shopping hooks, so you've got a little shopping hook that pulls down there. You've got another one there. You've also got a little hook over there. Over this side you've got more hooks, another shopping one, levers to put the seats down. You've also got power back here. As you can see, you've actually got a little 12-volt socket, which I can't get open. There you go. And unfortunately no vehicle to load plug back here in this particular one, but still not bad at all, is it? There's also another hook here which comes down, that clasps up. Another hook at the back. It just goes on. You've even got a little tie down here, another tie down area, and then underneath the boot floor, if I go through the second part of the carpet, this folds up and you've got access to more storage so in here you've also got a cargo net which you can strap into the tie hooks. There's another one over there so you can tie things down. You've got a deep well for your charging cable, and then if you go further back, we've also then got some more accessories back there. So you've got a shopping basket which you can get as an option, a few other bits. So this is a blanket actually which you can use for the back seats. So there's loads and loads of different stuff you can get. This shopping organizer is really good. You can get this as an optional accessory. I'll pull this out and literally just opens right up into a large thing for you and then squishes back down. So yeah, optional accessories, but they're all designed really nicely with this car in mind. So yeah, super practical, super versatile space. They've really made the most of this, and there's a no load lip at all. Super easy to get stuff in and out of there. Of course, it means that some of the taller items at the back will suffer, but I think that they've just really thought about everything back here. They've put such a lot of time and energy into the design. It's also 60-40 split. As you can see, we've got a pass-through ski hatch, which you can just press on this lever down and push that through. But what's nice is you don't have to reach in and pull those levers to get the seats down. There are quick release tabs from here. So all I've got to do is pull that, and then I'll need to lean in and push that down. Same on this side, pull that will release it. Oh, it's done it itself, there you go. Didn't even need to intervene. And that creates now a relatively flat load area. There is still a bit of a ramp, as you can see. So if I head round to the side, you'll better see here that it does create a little bit of a ramp. However, that's just because of the angle of the rear seats. And this is a lot more of a practical space than in some other cars. You'll notice as well that it is completely flat, even without any extra flaps of carpet. So that's practical as well. The only thing is there's a little gap there, so you might lose a few bits of paper or some smaller items back there, but really not a big deal at all. I think this is probably one of the better designed sort of SUV rear cargo areas on the market right now. It might not be as big as some others, but it's just really practical with really well thought out design. What it does get bonus points for as well, which I always love, the seat belts are on these little sort of runners on the edge, so it means that you can super easily just lift the whole thing up, click it back into place, and there's no dramas with this snagging. That's really nice and easy. So I think it's about time then, now that we've closed this up, to get this thing out on the road, and I'll show you what it's really like. Right, I've got the car in its sportiest setting. Let's go for a 0 to 60 pull. I can feel that torque kicking in from the rear motor, and there's 60. It's actually pretty brisk in this mid-range model. Oh, my seatbelt just tightened as well. Yeah, so I've got it in the sport mode at the moment, and that means I've got a more immediate throttle response, as you can see. It's not crazy though, and you can modulate it quite easily with your foot. If I put it down into one of the, like, you know, eco or comfort, things do feel a little bit more wallowy and refined. As I come off the accelerator, it's not quite as immediate. It kind of gives you that second delay to make it feel a bit more like a petrol engine, I guess. But in the sport mode, it feels a little bit more abrupt, although there isn't obviously a full one pedal drive yet in this particular car. So I've got it in B mode at the moment as well, which is its regen braking mode, which they kind of recommend for using for sort of like downhills and that kind of thing. I quite like to use it just because it's got more of a heavy regen effects, but you can put it into drive mode, and then you've got the 3 levels of regen on the paddles, which you can adjust on the fly. I think that the top ones are too free. I feel like it just feels too much like a petrol car, but with loads of weight behind it. So it just feels like it's running away from you a little bit. So for me, stronger regen is a preference, and it just is a big disappointment that this car doesn't have one pedal drive yet in this variant. Obviously later cars are potentially likely to have it according to what we've heard, but yeah, just a shame that these ones don't. But apart from that, I've got lots of really nice things to say about it, thankfully. So driving along at the moment, I'm doing about 50 miles an hour on this road now. Refinement is really good. I've got acoustic double layered glass here, and that makes a big difference, and everything just feels really well insulated. And the shape at the front means I get pretty much zero wind noise at the front of the car. Tyre noise, not too much. Obviously on the 20s you get a little bit more tyre roar and things like that, but on this particular one, yeah, it's quiet. It feels nice, it feels refined. Suspension also irons out the bumps quite nicely. It's quite well damped, not quite as exceptional as the most recent Toyota stuff, but yeah, this feels really good. It's up there, and it just feels like a really nice smooth day-to-day experience. The ADAS stuff isn't too intrusive. What is nice is when you stray the lines and stuff, you can feel it gently tugging you back and vibrating the wheel, and you can see on that augmented reality HUD like an orange line appear where the edge of the road is, so it's kind of indicating to push you over. It's not that intrusive, and you can obviously quickly with shortcuts turn it all off on that, so it's not really the end of the world. It's quite a soft suspension setup. You can feel the weight of the car quite obviously, so it's not going to be the most agile, but it's very soft and plush. So if you're looking for something comfy, this is probably going to tick that. These seats as well in this driving position, fantastic. I wish there was a little bit more of a ledge for my elbow on the right hand side here, but I can get this one comfy on this adjustable armrest. Driving position is really good. I can see out really easily the corners of the car and the nose. I can see all round. The mirrors are really nice and large. This seat is lovely, supportive but plush at the same time. One of the better ones I've sat in this segment for sure. And same goes for the back. I just think all round it's a really comfortable car. And the quality of everything in here is just amazing for this kind of category, if that makes sense. There's a lot of cars out there that really don't achieve this, so yeah, just something to bear in mind. And of course, if you want something a little bit more firm, a little bit more planted, then the Sportline one has that sportier, firmer suspension, and of course the VRS even more so. When you go for an overtake, planting it in the standard mode, plenty of torque there, feels really nice, shoved from that rear wheel drive system in this particular model. Obviously all wheel drive will suit some, but there are so many cars out there in this category that are front wheel drive and just don't feel this level of kind of driver feel. The front wheel drive cars, they can feel nice when they're pulling you along, but at the same time, there's not much playfulness there. They can feel a little bit skittish out of junctions and in the wet and in the ice and that kind of thing. Whereas this just feels that little bit more powerful. It's got that kick to it. When you plant the throttle, you can feel that rear wheel drive is pushing you forward. It's quite a nice sensation. I do think at this weight that the entry level 60 car is going to feel a little bit sluggish, even though it's not bad in terms of the on paper speed. I just think compared to this one, it will just feel a little bit gutless. Another interesting thing, there's no physical traction control button in here, so you have to kind of go in to fiddle around with some of those settings, which is a little bit annoying, but it goes to show the target audience, right? Because this isn't the VRS. They're just not expecting people to want to fiddle with those controls. So it does mean there is a bit of computer nannying if you push it really hard. But like I said, because of that system and because of the weight of the car, it's quite difficult to get it to be too playful, even with that rear wheel drive, which I'll now demonstrate. I love the fact that these are old school indicator stalks, by the way. It does make a nice difference. It makes it feel a little bit more traditional. So yeah, I'm going to take it around here quite quickly. So I'm trying quite hard now to get the back end to kick out, and it sort of does a little bit. You can see it squirreling around there, but it's completely manageable. So it lets you slip a little bit, which is nice. And because it's heavy, it doesn't feel like it's going to suddenly break loose on you. The chassis feels quite refined in that way, and the weight feels quite low down. So hard on the brakes here. The brakes are actually more impressive than you might think. Ooh, bit of back end slip there. Yeah, the brakes actually are a lot better than a lot of EVs. A lot of EVs, you really stamp on the brakes and they go super crunchy. These ones, they don't really do that. They've got a decent amount of pedal feel to it. You can feel the pressure building under your foot, and it's quite difficult to get them to lock and feel like you're not really getting anywhere with them. So it's a lot better than some EVs. And on a twisty road like this, the rear wheel drive pushing you in does make it feel more engaging for sure. Could potentially get you in a spot of bother in the ice potentially with all this weight, but on a nice clear day like today though, it does mean that this thing feels quite nice to drive, even in this standard trim with the softer suspension. I think the Sportline one would feel quite involving, and obviously the VRS one is a different level. I've driven that on track actually, the VRS, and it was quite good fun. Definitely more planted than I expected it to be. See, I'm on a kind of twisty road with lots of dips and variations here, and when I'm hard on the brakes, I feel a fair amount of confidence in them, despite the fact I'm hurtling downhill in this massive heavy beast. Doesn't feel too bad, and I can feel an okay amount of texture through the wheel. For a Volkswagen Audi Group car, more so than I would expect. It's normally quite numb in the steering department. And what's nice about this is it's quite light around town as well, and the turning circle is not bad for a car this size, so it's still going to be practical to live with. Yeah, it's a bit soft and wallowy though, this one, the suspension. It does feel a bit like I'm piloting a suet pudding in some parts of this road. That being said though, for your day-to-day comfort, that's a good thing, right? I'm not being spine shattered down here as I'm going over the little dips and what is some kind of quite nasty little potholes and rough parts of this road. It's absolutely holding fine. I don't feel like I've got a lack of confidence in the chassis at all. And yeah, it would be nice to have that one pedal drive for round town refinement. But overall, it's a really, really solid feeling car. It feels properly well screwed together. The Skoda warranty is not the industry lead, and it's not going to be quite as good as your Kias and Hyundais and so on. And obviously the IONIQ 5 and the Kia EV6 are really good contenders in this category. I think this feels a little bit more solid and screwed together, and I feel like some people will appreciate the kind of Volkswagen Audi Group touch that they put on things in terms of the screens, the infotainment and stuff, because they'll feel that it's really familiar coming from an older car in that sort of brand territory. But yeah, the EV6 and the IONIQ 5 obviously have one pedal drive options. They also have the ability to use the paddles to go into a normal drive mode. And then the Tesla Model Y is a sort of a tech fest that has lots of ongoing updates, and it's going to be easier to use and easier to charge. This supports fast charging, all that good stuff, but the range on the Tesla is just going to be better in the real world. And obviously the supercharger network is going to be better than even when Skoda string together a few networks. It's still a faff to use. I'd find it really hard not to recommend this car though. Based on the rivals, this is a super lovely place to sit with this optional interior, and if you can get one at a good price, I think it's just going to be a really solid option for you. It just feels really nice to drive. It's super comfortable, has all the tech that you'll need. It's a shame that they don't have heat pump as standard, and it's a shame you're going to have to tick a few boxes to get what you want, but what you can be sure of is that you're getting a really good quality product here. But if you want a slightly better warranty and some better tech, I would look at the Korean rivals. Obviously, there's also a lot of Chinese EVs now that are coming in a lot cheaper than this, so that's something to consider. And then low speed, yeah, it's just got that nice maneuverability, decent visibility. It's nice and smooth. Just missing that one pedal. Just do yourself a favour, and if you're going to tick any boxes, go for one of the optional interiors. It's well worth it, trust me. But I do often get to the end of road tests, and I've got a Tesla myself, and I often can't wait to give the car back and get back in my Tesla because it's just so nice and so easy to live with. But this, I'm actually going to be a bit sad to see it go. It really is a really lovely car. So there we go guys, the Skoda Enyaq. I'm really impressed with it, and if you're on the fence about buying one, I think you should just go ahead and go for it. It really is a nice quality machine, and there's not much I've got to say that's bad about it. The little things that I don't like, probably other people won't be so bothered about. So thank you as always to Skoda for sending me out the car. I really do appreciate it, and I appreciate you guys watching. All your likes, comments, subscriptions, it goes such a long way. So please continue to do so, and if you're looking for any reviews of the rival cars, I've got plenty on the channel for you to see. And of course, if you're looking to sell or buy a car, links in the description for that too. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.